let this be a normal field trip? With a friend? No way!
Cruising on down Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling good. Next thing that you know, you're seeing octopus in the neighborhood, surfing on a sine wave, swinging through the stars. Take a left at human testing, take your second right past Mars on the magic scuba. Alligator nostril, climb on the magic scuba, spank a plankton too. On our magic scuba, drop the river of lava on magic scuba. Such a fine thing to do. So strap your bones right to the seat. Come on in and don't be shy. Just to make your day complete. You might get baked into a pie on the magic scuba. Step inside, it's a wilder ride. Come on, ride on the magic scuba.
This is terrible! I've lost some of the rocks and minerals from my collection. What am I going to do?
Lost rocks? Lost minerals? Not a problem, Arnold. We'll take a field trip and go directly to the source.
Active volcanoes are chock full of exciting stuff, like magma and gases. It's really neat to think that new rocks are being formed all the time. When the ocean floor moves apart, things get pretty interesting. The Mid-Ocean Ridge by Phoebe. If you want to check out the other section of this report, click on the tab. Layers of the Earth. Mostly mantle. The middle layer of the Earth is the mantle. This is the thickest layer of the Earth, just like the main fruity section is the thickest part of the peach. The mantle is incredibly hot. Globs of melted rock, called magma, are always trying to squeeze their way up through the top part of the mantle and through the crust. Sometimes the magma manages to make it all the way up and through to the top, where it comes out of a volcano. The crust is us. The crust is the outside layer of the Earth, which is the continents and the ocean floor. We live on top of the crust. The crust is the thinnest part of the Earth, sort of like the skin of a peach. Inside at the core, the Earth is a sphere made of 3 big layers. The inside layer, deep in the center of the Earth, is called the core. If the Earth were the same size as a peach, the core would be about the size of the peach pit. There are 2 parts to the core. The inner core is made of solid metal, but it's the hottest part of the Earth, and the outer core is made of molten metal.
Volcanoes by Wanda. See all those tabs? Click on them to check out the different sections of my report. Volcano Basics. What are they? Some mountains are volcanoes. They are made when hot molten rock called magma spills or explodes out of holes in the earth. These holes are called vents. The magma collects in a magma chamber deep under a volcano. The pressure in the magma chamber builds up until the magma pushes up and comes out on the surface of the earth. After it reaches the outside of the earth, magma is called lava. As lava cools, it hardens and builds up on top of the mountain. This makes the mountain get bigger every time there's a volcanic eruption. There are 3 basic volcano types: shield volcanoes, cinder volcanoes, and composite or stratovolcanoes. The biggest of these, shield volcanoes, are broad and have been made by lava which flows for a very long way before it cools. Shield volcanoes are made from the lava that cools to form basalt. Volcanoes by Volcanoes around the world. Hawaii. The biggest volcanoes on Earth are located above hotspots in the Earth's mantle. Mauna Loa on the island of Hawaii is a shield volcano formed above a hotspot. A hotspot is an area of the Earth which is always forming magma. The hotspot stays in the same place, but the ocean plates above it move over time, causing new volcanoes to be formed in a string. This is how many of the Pacific Islands were formed. Mount St. Helens. 2 months before Mount St. Helens, a composite volcano in Washington state erupted, it began having little earthquakes. The magma chamber inside pushed out, creating a huge bulge on the north side of the mountain, alerting scientists that it might erupt soon. Suddenly, the part of the mountain with the bulge slid down the mountain, and as it slid, pressure was released. The entire north side of the mountain was blown out. Ash rained down, shockwaves toppled trees, and melted ice and snow caused avalanches of mud. In a few short moments, the mountain was reduced by 1/6 of its size. 59 people died from the eruption. Today, the area is a national monument where people can study volcanoes. Volcanoes by Wanda. Igneous rocks. Hot rocks. Igneous rocks begin deep in the earth as magma, which is hot melted rock material. When a volcano erupts, the molten lava and ash cools into extrusive igneous rocks on the surface of the earth. Other igneous rocks form when the magma cools underground. These are called intrusive igneous rocks. All igneous rocks are made out of minerals, and they are named by what minerals they contain and how the rock was formed. Extrusive rocks.
Igneous rocks that form outside the earth are called extrusive rocks. They form from cooled lava, which is magma that comes out of the ground. Since the lava cools very quickly, the rocks have very small crystals, which are hard to see. Some extrusive igneous rocks are rhyolite, andesite, and basalt. Pumice is an extrusive igneous rock, but it is filled with holes created by trapped gases. Pumice can float because it has so much air trapped in it. Obsidian is a type of rock that cools so fast there is no time for crystals to grow. It's often called volcanic glass because it looks and breaks like glass.
Intrusive rocks. Igneous rocks that cool inside the earth are intrusive rocks. Since the magma cools slowly, the minerals in intrusive rocks have time to become large crystals. Their mineral crystals are large enough to see without a microscope. Some intrusive igneous rocks are granite, diorite, gabbro, and peridotite.
Just click on the bus to start the adventure! Sometimes volcanoes are explosive, and sometimes they're not. Rocks are rockin'!
There are mountains on the ocean floor that are so big, they're taller than Mount Everest. Some volcanoes send chunks of rock, called bombs, flying through the air.
Let's not take rocks for granted. Just click on the bus to start the adventure!
It's really neat to think that new rocks are being formed all the time.